All right, welcome to day 3 of our digital declutter challenge. And we yesterday created a business headquarters for our businesses. And today I thought we would make a base for our financials because money is a big part of running a business. And it's great to have a place to store all your goals, to store all your expenses and revenue and stats and all that stuff. So let's create a base for our finances. So add base, start from scratch. Let's make this one green. Let's find a nice fancy dollar sign or something. Here, dollar sign, because it's about money. We'll call this financial goals. You can say 2000 and we'll do 2020 for next year. All right, whatever. Just financial goals. You get it. All right, we'll go in here. And the first table I think we should be looking at and creating is the overall goals for your entire year. So we'll do 2020. Like I said, year goals. Here we go. So we'll keep name as the first thing, and then we'll do for the next category, let's change the field type and we'll say this is the income goal, and we want this to be currency, dollar, save. Next one, I think we want to break it down, so broken down. So what does this mean? We'll do single line text. We need another field for the final income so you can compare to your goal. And then let's do percent of total revenue. Quarter total. This is also currency. Save. This is going to make sense later. I'm going to show you how I'm going to put it all together, but humor me. And here we're going to do another percent. Quarter goal met. And this one also going to be percent. Save. And then the last one is we're going to do category. And I have a couple of categories to make sense of these goals and stats. So we're going to add financial, and then review, and then previous year. By the way, if you want to change the color of these, you can just click here. You can change them to different things. So this year review can be blue and previous year can be purple. Save. So these are all the categories that I use for my yearly financial goals, and now I'm going to show you how you set this all up for yourself. So let's start with the categories. So 1 financial, 1 review, and 1 for the previous year. Then we're going to group by category. Here we go. So now we have the 3 sections of our goals. So here is where we're going to write for the review, and the previous year we're going to go all the months. January, can't spell. January, Feb. There we go, all the months of the year. We can copy these and then we can paste them down here, and you expand the group. Yes, continue. So then it's going to add in all those. There we go. So now we have the review for this year and the review for the previous year. And this up at the top is the main financial goals that you have. So this is where you're going to write in the main areas of your business where you make money. So let's say that you do freelance work and you have a shop, and let's say you want to make, you usually in your store that you make 50% off both of these items. So let's say you want to make $30,000 this year, so you want to make $15,000 from freelance work, and you want to make $15,000 from your shop. Broken down, this is where you can kind of make it feel more attainable for yourself. So freelance work, if you usually create illustrations around at an average price of $500, how many is that in $15,000? My math skills suck, so I'm going to get my calculator out. $15,000 divided by 500. That's 30 projects that you're going to have to work on. 30, we'll say 30, $500 projects. So this helps you put something in perspective. Is this even attainable? So 30 divided by 12 months, that's 2.5 projects per month. And that seems pretty attainable. You could do 2 to 3 every month or more some months. So this doesn't seem too unattainable. Also, there's room for, if that month maybe you do just one project for $1,000, or you do 4 projects at $250, you know? That's how that makes sense. And then here, your shop, then you would do the average of what does an average item in your shop cost. And we'll say maybe an average item is $30, we'll say. I have no idea. And then 15,000 divided by 30, that's 500 items. So 500 times a $30 item. Item sold. And then 500 divided by 12, that's 41 items sold per month. Now in my mind, it's not completely unattainable. That's a little bit more than 1 item per day, and it could work. Depends on what kind of shop you have, and also this depends on the items. It could fluctuate. Maybe some of your items are $10 and some of them are $100. So this is just to give you an idea, and this is also just an example. So we'll roll with it. So now we're going to go down into our year, and I forgot a section actually, so bad on me. Here we go. We're going to add in the quarters as well, because when you break down your year into quarters, it makes everything just a little bit more easy to digest. So I'm going to add in the quarters here. Here we do quarter 1, 4. Spelling skills today. And again, you can copy and paste this over the previous year just because we messed up here. Continue. Now we're all set. Okay, now even more math. Goal 30,000 divided by 4. That is, here, let's see, broken down, goal per quarter is 7,500. Copy, and then 7,500 divided by 3 per month. Per month you have to get 2,500. Here we go. See, up here it says 30,000. So there is all of your goals for the year here. And now just gonna add in what you did during the year here. Every month you go in and you write how much you made for that year and how close you were to making that goal. So say in January you made only $1,800, and then in February you had a really good month, so you made $2,900, so you were over your, and then March dipped down, like, because when you are freelance it doesn't always make sense. All right, and then you had a really good month in April, 4,500, and then we'll do, maybe you hit your goal exactly in May, and again in June, and then you had a really crap month in July because everybody isn't on vacation, so $600 only, and then it was okay, September, and then September we did pretty good. Another really good month in October, and a little bit, and then you had a really great month at the end. And you hit your goals. Woohoo! Now it could be fun. You can figure out the total revenue in percentages, and because I am useless at math like that, calculating percentages, I'm going to show you my little friend, the percentage calculator. We'll do half the page and half the page. So here you can go through all of these. So your goal was in January to make 2,500 here. So you put 2,500 here. 2,500 is your goal for that month, and you made 1,800. Calculate. So that's 72% of your goal. This is just interesting to know how much you're actually making and how close you are to making your goals. You can go through and do all of these, of course. And then you can also add together all of your months to create the quarter total. So let's see, that was 1,800 plus 2,900 plus 800, and that we put the total here. So 5,500 here, and then here we can also calculate the total percentage of the quarter goal met. So our total goal was 7,500, and we only made 5,500 here. Calculate. So that was 73% of your goal met. So that's just how you're going to go through all of these months and the quarters and fill this out, and then you'll have also the data from the year previous, so then you can compare and see how you're growing and what areas of your business are growing. Because then we'll add in up here how much you had in freelance and what you did in your shop by adding another table, and you can have all of the months with your shop revenue, and then create another table with your shop revenue, and then you can add those in here, and then you add the totals in here. So it gets complicated, but it's very important to do, and it's important to compare from previous years, compare this year, and compare your overall goals and see how close you are to making them. Or if you completely blasted through your goal, then maybe next year you should create a goal that's even higher so that you can attain that as well. Okay, off camera, I went in and filled out the rest of all of the cells just to give you a better idea of what this all would look like for you at the end of the year. So here I filled out, this is just all arbitrary, as you know. And here was the income goal that you had for this year. And then you broke it down into the different per month and then quarter goals. And then this is where you would input all of the different months and your final income. And I haven't said whether or not this is before or after you remove taxes and expenses and all of that. So that's up to you whether you want to have this as your final after, like with the profit. So after all your expenses, after all of your taxes are taken, or if this is revenue, like everything you bring in. So that's up to you. Right here, you put the totals of what you had brought in the different months, and then calculate it together. And then we also looked at percentages, so you can see how much that you, how much of your total goal that you had made. It's fun to look at and compare. Also, another thing I'd like to mention, when you do have a spike in sales one month, it would be really smart to make a note of what happened that month. So if you had a flash sale or something, and that's why you increased your fees, or not fees, increased your income. And then maybe if it was a bad month, maybe March, you were sick, so you didn't get as much work done, or you had to say no to certain projects. What about if you were featured on a blog or in a podcast or in a magazine or something? Featured in blah magazine. Probably magazines don't have that much impact anymore. Let's say a blog. So that would be also really great to see. And then especially if you did it the year before. So if you test it out in trying to get more features or having more sales, or if you did some other kind of marketing technique and it causes increases in sales, it's a good thing to note. Or if something that you tested out and it decreases your sales, that's also something to note and remember, and try not to do that in the future. All right. And then here's also in a separate, like a intense in expenses profit report kind of file that you're probably doing in Excel or Google Sheets. You should be writing out absolutely everything that you are getting income from, and all of your expenses, all the taxes that you're taking out, all the money that you're paying yourself, etc. And you should be coming to the final totals of what you made for each section of your business. So here I just made up numbers, of course. So I said that you freelance, you had made 20,000 and your shop was 11,900. So the breakup between those things was 63% from freelance and 37% from your shop. So for the following year, you could maybe make it a priority to work on your shop to build that a little bit more so that the income could increase. Or you can keep doing what you're doing, or just increase it slightly and focus more on freelance if that's what you really want to do, and make this percentage higher, or make the total income higher. So this is stuff that you can look at to see what is bringing you business and what you should be working on. If you have several other things, such as I have teaching in a shop and freelance and my agent, and I've noticed that my shop sales have just decreased and plummeted in the past few years, so I don't put much effort into that whatsoever, and I work more on my freelance projects and teaching. So yeah, I hope that this made it a little bit more clear of how you can use a file like this, and you can of course create it even more detailed, add in more and more things that are important to you and what is important in your business. So just make it personalized, and you can add tables here for the different months or the different quarters to keep track of all of the things that are happening in your business financially. So I hope that you found this super helpful and it hasn't hurt your brain too much, but I think that creating goals like this and then actually seeing if you're making them, and reviewing your goals and looking at where you're bringing in money, and if you see that all of a sudden freelance you were bringing in way more and your shop was only like 5% of your income, maybe you should be focusing solely on freelance and stop worrying about your shop so much. Or if your freelance is dipping down and your shop is just going through the roof, maybe you should be focusing on your shop. Or you can also see that as being like, oh, maybe I should give my freelance business a little bit of a boost and give that more focus so that I can bring that up as well. So this is a great way to add some clarity in your business. So yeah, my challenge to you is to set this up and start inputting all of your goals, setting it up for next year, and then you can even start putting in the stats from this year so that you have something to compare next year too. Okay, thanks for watching.